Health Nuts, welcome back to Health Nut Kitchen. Today I am kicking off a very special series on my channel. I am finally doing a meal prep series, which I've been wanting to do this for quite some time now because a lot of you guys have expressed in your comments and emails that you need some help, making it easier to get healthy meals throughout the week. Whether you're a busy mom or dad, you have school or work, and you just don't have the time to make these meals every single day, I've made it super easy. You can literally spend like an hour or two on a Sunday afternoon and just kind of prep everything, get it cooking in the oven, pack your containers, throw it in the fridge, and then you literally have meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all week long, which is really easy and exciting. And some of these recipes are new, some of these are old Health Nut favorites that I thought would be perfect for the winter season right now. All right, so let's get cooking and make some delicious meals for the entire week. First recipe we're gonna get started with is breakfast because it is, of course, the first meal of the day. So for breakfast, I decided to make my apple pie slow cooker oats. This is a delicious recipe. It's basically like a dump and cook recipe, which I love, and it makes so much oatmeal. It literally makes enough for 2 people for the entire week. So definitely enough for you for 5 days if you're super hungry for breakfast. Now to get this recipe started, you're going to need a slow cooker. In a slow cooker, I like to just rub a little bit of coconut oil in there so it doesn't stick, and then I just like to add my coconut milk, water, maple syrup, some peanut butter or almond butter, your steel cut oats. Then I throw in some chopped apples, a cinnamon stick or fresh cinnamon, pinch of nutmeg, sea salt, give it a stir, pop that lid on, and you can either cook it on high for 4 hours or low for 8 hours. Now before serving, you just wanna make sure to remove that cinnamon stick, and then you can just pop it into your jars for the entire week. This stores really well in the fridge for the whole week without going bad. So what you can do is make this on Sunday night, and then Monday morning, you're literally gonna have fresh, hot, cooked apple pie oats for breakfast, which is awesome. Next up, we have lunch, and for lunch, I am making my creamy, dairy-free leek and potato soup. For this soup, you're going to need a large pot where you're gonna add in a little bit of olive oil and saute your onion, chopped up leeks, garlic with a bit of sea salt, black pepper. You're basically just gonna stir that and saute it for about 10 minutes until the leeks soften and you'll really start to smell that aroma. It's delicious. Next, you can add in your chopped up peeled or unpeeled potato, chicken broth. I just use the little bouillon cubes, and then I like to add in a bay leaf. So you're gonna add in your thyme. I always like to keep some fresh herbs frozen in the freezer for any time I need them for like a recipe like this, because I find if you're always buying them, they'll go bad really quickly. So, and who has time to have fresh thyme on hand? That was really corny, but yeah. And then top it off with about 6 cups of fresh filtered water, pinch of extra sea salt and black pepper if you'd like. And then basically you're just gonna stir everything, bring this to a boil, and then you wanna cover it with a lid and simmer on low for about 30 to 40 minutes until the potatoes are tender, and then just let it cool before we're gonna transfer it into our blender to blend everything up nice and creamy. So once your soup is cooled, you can just ladle it into a high-speed blender. I'm using my Vitamix here, and you wanna do it in about 2 or 3 batches so you don't overfill your blender, and just blend it up. You don't wanna overblend or else it's gonna kinda get gummy. So blend it just enough so it's creamy, and then go ahead and place it into your little mason jars for the entire week. This soup is perfectly paired with either some Mary's crackers and hummus or some veggies, whatever you like, or you could just eat it by itself depending on how hungry you are at lunch. Now for snack time, I have something super warm and comforting for the winter months. I have my 1 bowl banana bread, and for the week, I actually made my mini ones. Now you don't have to eat a whole one for snack time. You can just cut these in half or slices and just snack on them. They're full of protein from the almond flour and eggs, and they have low sugar because they're just sweetened with a little bit of honey, which is really good. Unlike those store-bought banana breads, you don't want to be eating those all week long. So for that recipe, you're going to need 1 big bowl, and we're gonna combine everything together to make this banana bread. So we're gonna peel our bananas and mash them up really well with a fork. Then we're gonna add our coconut oil that's been melted. Add in your honey, 2 eggs, a little bit of vanilla, and whisk that all up together. Now we're gonna add in our dry ingredients. So usually you wanna have a sifter for this. I surprisingly do not have a sifter at my place yet. I realize I need to get one. But anyways, even if you don't have a sifter, you can still make this recipe. You'll wanna first add in your almond flour, spelt flour, baking powder, baking soda, pinch of sea salt, cinnamon, and then just mix it all up together. Add in your chocolate chips. Mix together one more time, and then just set that aside while we grease our little mini loaf pans. So we're just gonna scoop our batter into these little loaf pans with an ice cream scoop. I find this is really good for portioning it out to make sure you have the same amount of batter in each little loaf pan. And then flatten the tops with the back of a spatula, and you can pop these into a preheated oven at 350. Bake them for about 30 to 35 minutes until they are nice and golden brown. Once out of the oven, you can just do the little spaghetti test to make sure the centers are cooked really well. And then you just wanna transfer them to a cooling rack just to cool fully before you remove the banana bread out of the pan. And that's how easy it is to make banana bread on a Sunday. Last but not least, you're going to need dinner after a very long day at school or work or whatever it is that you guys do. And I'm gonna be making this awesome kale salad, and kale is a great green to make when you're kind of prepping things for the week because it doesn't wilt. I prefer not to put the dressing on if I'm gonna want it to last more than 3 days, but you can definitely put the dressing on and it'll be good for about 2 or 3 days because it doesn't get all wilty. It actually will just marinate and taste better. And then I also have some fish that we're gonna roast in the oven along with some veggies. I got carrots and broccoli, and then we're also gonna roast some sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make this so we can get it into the oven. So on a large baking pan lined with parchment paper, you're going to place your roughly chopped carrots, broccoli florets, drizzle with some olive oil, sprinkle on some sea salt, black pepper, chili flakes, garlic powder, turmeric powder, and then roast these into a preheated oven at 375. It's about 25 minutes for the broccoli and then 45 minutes for the carrots. You just want to check on them and make sure you toss them like halfway through so they get crispy on both sides. Then for the sweet potato, all you have to do is make sure you wash and scrub them really well, and then stab them with either a knife or a fork. Just like get your anger out and stab them well so that way the steam can release and they don't explode in your oven. And then you basically just throw them on a pan with some parchment paper, stick them in the oven on 375 for about an hour, I'd say, just until like the juices start to kind of come out of the holes, and you can just like stick a fork in it really easily. That's when you know your sweet potato is done. You do not need any oil or salt or anything. Just plain sweet potato is delicious on its own. Okay, so to prep our fish, first you'll want to make sure that your fish is mostly thawed out. You can use frozen, but it's best if it's thawed. And then you just want to place it on top of either parchment or foil. I like to layer my parchment on top of the foil because I don't really like the foil right on my fish. So I like to add a drizzle of olive oil just to keep it nice and moist in the oven. That's optional. And then I sprinkled mine with a garlic herb blend, some sea salt, black pepper, a very thin slice of lemon, a few sprigs of fresh parsley. You can also use cilantro. And then you're just gonna wrap it all up and place it into a preheated oven at about 375. And you can cook this for about 20 minutes, and it's just gonna be the perfect temperature and time to get it nice and steamy, but not overcook it. Now with your dinner, you're going to, of course, need some greens. And for greens, I'm gonna be making my kale salad. And I have a very similar recipe up on my channel, basically doing the exact same thing, just a different dressing. But when you're making a kale salad, I always like to wash, dry, and then de-stem my kale. It just makes it a little bit easier to chew because you don't have that really like woody stem in the middle of it. And then all you're gonna do is just like roughly kind of pull it apart with your hands. You could do like a fine chop if you'd like, but then I always like to massage my kale when I'm eating it raw. So you're going to just need a little bit of olive oil, some sea salt, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, and then just massage it really well with your hands, be one with your kale, and give it a nice good massage to soften it up. And then you can just add in your chopped veggies. I'm gonna be adding in some chopped cucumber, celery, green onion, and then some fresh cilantro. And you basically just want to add veggies that are not going to go soggy if left in the fridge for a few days cut. And then for the dressing, I am making my creamy lemon ginger dressing, and you can really make any dressing that you like. And then you can just store your dressing in a little container, or you can prep it the night before. Because it's kale, it's not gonna get soggy overnight if there's dressing on it. And basically, you got your kale salad, you got your veggies and your fish, and you have a complete dinner. And then I also added on some Mary's crackers here, and just some plain garlic hummus, just as extra snacks. So if you're like me and you like to snack, you know, between breakfast and lunch, this is a great option too. All right, so that's gonna be it for today's meal prep video. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I'm so excited to do more of these. It really kind of just challenged me to kind of think ahead. I'm not so much a planner, and I don't really meal prep, to be honest. I make a couple things in the beginning of the week to kind of munch on, but since I'm always creating new recipes for Health Nut, I'm always eating different things. But it can sometimes get a little exhausting, especially if it's a long day. I come home from work, I'm tired. I just want to sometimes grab something out of the fridge and eat it for dinner. And this is going to be really great for Matt as well, because he is commuting to work, and this is great for him to grab and go. So I'm excited to see what you guys think of this video and this series. Also, be sure to answer my survey, and I think I don't know what corner it's in. It's just a little poll where you can vote and tell me what meal prep theme you would like to see next. I thought I would do like themes for each one. So this one is a winter theme, a lot of hearty, warming foods to keep you warm and satisfied all season long. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this new series, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!